It's a hard skill.
There we go. So Bethany, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I know we kind of talked a little bit just there before the recording started, but you're having a good day.
Yeah, doing good so far. Off camera, we talked about how I have a 13-week-old infant, and so the day looks a lot different than it used to in the mornings. And you think you have all this time, and then it just vanishes really
Mm,
fast, very
yeah,
fast. And you just look up and you're like, how did 3 hours just pass? We've been up for so long,
I
but
know.
it's
We kind
good.
of have my stepson is 3, and like I'm kind of like seeing all that now as well. Is that like like that's a lot of your day is different to when it was just you, and it
Yes.
changes everything.
It really does. Like, and it just puts things in perspective, like all the things that you used to do, like just simple tasks, like doing the laundry, putting the dishes away, you just take for granted. And then once you have like a baby attached to you, because I have a Velcro baby, so he wants to be like on me at all times, which is their pros and cons, right? Because you can just put him in a carrier and just lollygag and do your thing. But it definitely makes tasks a lot harder.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I really didn't really embrace and enjoy single time as much as I should have before having a baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. It's just a totally different lifestyle, that's for sure.
It's like I don't know if you ever watched The Office, but there was the episode where he said, I wish there was a day, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you leave them." And
Yeah.
I was like,
You never will. You
no,
never will. Gotta stay present. Yeah.
like even up like I'd say even just going back a couple of years ago, it was like I could even just spend 2 or 3 hours in the gym after I was finished the class, just talking to people, and but now
Hmm.
like, it all looks a little bit different, and like you're like, no, I literally don't even have the next 30 seconds. I gotta.
Yeah, like I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Yeah, no, I literally feel that right now. Yes.
What was it kind of hard, like trying to phrase it the right way. So once you had your baby, was it kind of hard to kind of see training differently as well? Like, so like obviously like you train a different way for when you're
Right.
competing and all that. So
Yeah, I think it was a good transition. One over the course of the last 2 years for me, just because of injury and my back issues, and kind of
mm,
coming back into competing with that, and just having to really say no more in the gym.
mm,
And I think also just the 9 months, well, technically I think it's 10 months, prepares you kind of for just a different way of training and lifestyle. So pregnancy really got me, and I knew it would. Some people
mm,
can just like thrive through pregnancy and be okay. And I was able to train still through pregnancy until the 35-week mark, but I was definitely getting humbled and having to change a lot and modify from the very beginning.
mm.
Um, and so, yeah, I think the last 2 years of competition at getting ready for the CrossFit Games in 2023 and 2024 really started the whole process for me. But yeah, it's definitely, you don't really know until you are in the actual shoes of doing it. And so it's still like a shell shock to a certain extent, but I definitely was mentally prepared for all the changes.
Yeah, no, not as many burpees or cleans towards the end, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, definitely not. I was barely doing anything. I was just like trying to just even walk at the end, and I was like, all right, I can't even do that. I'm done.
I mean, I can look as a man, I can only imagine what that is like. I don't think strapping the wall ball to my stomach like some guys do for workouts. You ever see that on Instagram? It's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
some guys in our gym, the gym that I was in before, did that, and it was just yeah. I was like, still don't think it's the same somehow.
Doesn't compare. Doesn't compare.
No, no.
You get a little tiny glimpse of it, but yeah, it's totally different. And it's just, I mean, I could go into the weeds with it, but it's just nothing like it until
Mm.
you experience it, kind of thing.
Did you find that? Because obviously, I've admittedly I've followed your career for probably 20 18 was when I kind of got into CrossFit. So since
Oh, wow.
I've been following
Okay.
your
Thank
career, and
you.
I think the first time I saw you was on that Road to the Games. I think it was Heber did it.
Mm-hmm. The
Um,
good old days. Those were the good old days.
yeah, back when it was like you could understand how it worked to get to the game.
Kinda. Yeah.
You could kind
Yeah.
of understand it, yeah.
A better understanding at least.
Um,
Gosh.
so yeah, no, yeah, those were the good old days. Um, and like obviously, as I was saying, I followed your career for a long time, and I know that like you even kind of touched on it that you struggled with like your back and stuff for quite a long time, and
Hmm.
did the kind of pregnancy, because I know pregnancy obviously is tough on your back as well. Did that kind of add to it for you, or was it kind of a different feeling, or
Um,
that makes
I
sense?
was actually very worried about that going into pregnancy, just because you look at most pregnant women and they're so extended and they're just
Mm,
arched and their back is just like broken in half, basically. But I think the last 2 years for me, I started working with this PT in California, and he mostly does PRI, which is like it's basically works on breathing stuff and getting your rib cage into a better position overall. And most people, I would say, I'm not going to put everyone in this category, but people that have back issues, they're very extended with their lower back and they just live there. And that was me. I lived there, and gymnastics puts me in that position. And most women are in that position already. And so working on that, I think the last 2 years before my pregnancy and just getting my rib cage and my pelvis into just better alignment really helped with the whole process of pregnancy. So I actually would look at myself in the mirror, especially towards the end when my stomach got a lot bigger. And my spine stayed pretty straight the entire time, even when I got to the 40 week mark, 41 week mark. And I was just like, thank goodness I started doing all of these breathing exercises and just pelvic floor things and getting my rib cage into alignment before all of this, because it would have been really hard to do it during pregnancy.
yeah.
I think it still wouldn't have been possible, but I don't know. I'm glad I had a little bit of a head start. So
Mm,
throughout the whole pregnancy, my back was actually pretty good. I not all the way until the end did I start feeling it and just having to like modify like squatting and just do like box squats instead of full squats. But yeah, I was really, really thankful and grateful that my back actually held up pretty well.
mm,
But on the other side of this, having to, I think I said this off camera, my baby is very much a Velcro baby. So he wants to be on me at all times, which is very cute and sweet and endearing.
mm.
Um, but also, he's a big baby. I don't know how many
Oh,
kilos he is, but he's like probably 16, 17 pounds. So that's probably like what,
what?
7 kilos, eight
Yeah,
kilos?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we actually do it in pounds here as well for some
Oh,
reason.
okay. Okay.
Like
Yeah. So he's almost, I think he's close to 18 pounds as a 13-week old. So is a
wow.
lot of weight. And so
Yeah.
I have a carrier, but still like time under tension, and you're having a carrier on for 4+ hours a day. My back is like, oh my gosh, even
Mm,
with the good carriers. So definitely starting to experience some back issues just because of that.
yeah.
But hopefully that mom strength starts kicking in and I
Absolutely.
just like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Hopeful.
So
Yeah.
I'm
You
waiting
might
for it.
um yeah, you might get that Ariel Lowen mom strength, because I think
Yeah, I know. She's killing it. She's such an
yeah.
inspiration.
Oh man, she's yeah, absolute hero. But what was the actual kind of like diagnosis for your back, if you don't mind me asking?
It's just bulging discs. So
Okay.
if you look at 100 people's backs, 99% of people have bulging discs, whether they um, actually cause pain or not. It just varies per person, right?
Yeah.
And mine just get really aggravated. And when they do, it's not great. It's not great at all. Just they go out on me, like my back goes out on me completely. And it can vary with recovery between, 2 weeks to, man, in 2022, it was pretty much the whole year where I was in pain and I couldn't do even just the basics of air squats, and walking around was painful. And honestly, I thought my career was over in 2022 because of that. I was like, there's just no way I'm going to be able to do what I was doing before at the level that I was doing it, because
Hmm.
the amount of pain I was in, and the fact that pain just like wasn't going away. But somehow, some way,
Well, yeah.
kind of
And
like Lucy Campbell, you find a way, right? And man, it's crazy.
did you were the following two seasons then after that, were they tough, like
Very
physically?
tough.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
tough.
they were very demanding, just mentally, emotionally. It just took like a lot of focus on, like, I feel like for me personally, my whole career, I've always focused on warming up and accessory work and rehab because of my back.
Mm.
But this just took a whole nother level of dialing in on that and just focusing on that and being in tuned with my body enough to be like, okay, I usually do this one more rep, and that's what gets me in trouble.
Mm.
So I need to stop before I do that one more rep so I don't put myself in a hole for 6 to 8 weeks. And I think just it was like the devil and the angel on your shoulder, and like just trying to the tug of war of that for a full year or 2 years during training, I think just took a toll on me. So honestly, I feel like the pregnancy kind of came at a good time because I was pretty tired after 2 years of doing that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, even though pregnancy in and of itself was so hard. I was like,
Okay.
man, I have so much respect for women that do this over and over again. It is so hard emotionally, mentally.
Um, what was I gonna ask off of that? So, yeah, so following 2 years, I can only imagine how tough they must have been. Um, yeah, I'm sure you've probably been asked this a lot now, but do you have unfinished business with CrossFit? Are you
I think so. I
or
think there's some still
return
unfinished
cards?
business.
Yeah.
I would like to come back. I think that is in my headspace right now, and my mindset is to come back next year.
Hmm.
Um, I realized during pregnancy and even postpartum that I'm not superwoman. And so I need to take off this season, like 2 seasons in a row, which
Mm.
really sucks. And it's so hard to do that because sponsorships and honestly, just in sports in general, you get forgot about if you're not competing. It's what have you done for me lately? And
Yeah.
I definitely experienced that in 2022 when I was out for the season. And so in my mind, I was like, oh, I have to do this whole thing again of
Mm.
like betting on myself. Um, yeah, and just like be my biggest cheerleader, which you have to be no matter what in any situation. But it's definitely really hard when you don't feel like you're getting backed up by other people. Not to say that I don't have amazing people in my community in my corner, but yeah, it's just the name of the game, right? It's sports for you. It's what have you done for me lately? What was the last thing that you did? And who are you again, kind of thing. So you just have to prove yourself over and over again in athletics and being a pro athlete. So it's definitely a tough situation to be in, and you have to have thick skin. You have to have very thick skin. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. No, no,
Um,
something happened on your end, was it?
yeah, my something like popped up, but
Oh no, I didn't see
anyway,
it.
so I've like had to throughout the whole pregnancy, like mentally prepare for that of like, okay, if you want to come back, like you have to bet on yourself and
Hmm.
you have to be prepared for um just just a redo of 2022 and how the seasons went in 2023 and 2024. And I think going through those seasons has definitely mentally prepared me, but it's definitely going to be a challenge. It's going to be hard. And um, postpartum is totally different than a back injury, but probably similar in some cases. And so just being prepared for all the prehab and the rehab that I have to do and focusing on that, telling myself no in the gym so that I can say yes later. That was
Yeah.
kind of like my mentality during those seasons in 23 and 24 was like, tell yourself no now so you can say yes during the competition.
Hmm.
And it was scary to compete like that because there was a lot of things during training during those seasons that I just did not do or did not touch. And then I was asked to do on the competition floor. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's kind of how 2027 is going to go for me. If I end up competing, it's going to
Mm.
be okay. I know I can do this. It's just been a while.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
Did you
Uh,
ever sorry to cut across you. Did
no,
you
you're
ever
good.
get asked, or would you go on a team? Do you think that would like take pressure off a little bit maybe, or on yourself, or even your body
I just
maybe?
feel like I feel like team nowadays, you have to be just as good.
Mm,
Maybe like when I started back in 2017 and 2018, you can kind of hide with your holes when there
yeah.
was like six people on a team. But I think nowadays, since there's only four, you
Yeah.
really can't hide. And those girls are so strong. Like I feel like you have to be even stronger than some of the individuals. And that's definitely my weak point because of my back.
Hmm.
I have been asked to do a team before with Danny Spiegel, actually,
Oh.
and I just was like, I just don't think I'm a team gal. I'm an indie gal. I've always done individual sports growing up.
Mm,
I think the only time I have done team, I did like a local competition and it was just me and another girl and then two guys back in like, man, it was like 2015. That's the only
hmm,
time I've ever done team.
hmm.
And I think I would do team with Wadapalooza if it was just like us, like three girls or
Oh,
whatever.
was
But
that
as far as like
Carrie and Danielle? Was that the girls that
no,
you went?
I've actually I've never done it before, but I would say
Oh.
I would say yes, I think, to an individual or a team at Wadapalooza because it's just, for fun. But when it comes to the CrossFit games, I just want it to be on me,
Hmm. Yeah.
whether I mess up or do really well. I just think for me as an individual, I do better as an individual athlete than a team athlete. So, and then plus the worm too. I just don't think my
Oh,
back would do well with the worm. And that's
yeah.
scary too.
And
Because
they've
one
kind
false
of gotten,
move,
yeah,
oof.
and they've kind of gotten a lot more uh creative with the worm in the last like couple of years. Like
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm
which you
like,
like clean and jerks to the shoulder and then pop
yeah,
it up. Like that's just for anyone's back. That's
I know. Yeah, that's such a far reach down because I mean, it's essentially a sandbag, right?
yeah.
And sandbags definitely mess up my back. So it's doing that over and over again. And then you have to coordinate with another teammate or other teammates. And so if they're off, then you can really just like jack up your back. So I don't foresee myself doing team really ever.
Yeah, I've seen some people now absolutely eat the floor on worms when it's just like
Yeah.
someone who might be like a couple of inches taller. If there's a guy that's taller than a girl and he stands up even just a fraction of a second before her,
Yeah.
they're just gone. They're wiped
It's
out. So,
messed up. Yeah.
um, yeah, and I think, yeah, I think it's a little bit different now that Rich is gone as well. I think I don't know. There doesn't seem to be as much. I don't know coverage of the team stuff, but that could just be me. Um, but yeah, and like you probably miss even like the last 2 years. Probably miss a lot of the girls from the games and stuff as well. Because I'd imagine like over like the almost decade that you've been doing it, if not more, like you form friendships and you get to know
Mhm.
people. Obviously I know you were quite um close at one point with Carrie and with Danielle from training with them and stuff. So like, I'd imagine you probably miss people too.
Yeah, no, but we live in 2026, so it's just easy to pick up your phone and call somebody. And I've
Yeah.
definitely stayed in touch with uh some of the girls. Like so Carrie Pierce, she got
Mm.
pregnant, and so her baby is 9 months old. So mine's 3 months, hers is 9 months. So throughout my whole pregnancy, I was actually stayed in contact with her. I was just asking her questions and yeah, I've actually stayed in contact with her since I've left in 2022 from Vegas. And so you keep friendships. And Alexis Raptis is another one. I've kept a good friendship with her too. She's like my little sister. So we have back issues and stomach issues. So we've like been able to just, talk about a lot of things that are very similar with our stories.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you keep in contact. But I will say this, like in 20, I think it was 2024, 2023. It was definitely a whole new round of girls. Like I feel like yeah, I think it was 2023 where it's like I came back after a year of being off.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh man, it's like a whole nother era of girls. And now I'm the old one. Like I used to be the younger one and now I'm the old one. And it's crazy how things just switch like that. Um, and I feel like a lot of the OGs were retiring at that time.
Yeah.
Um, and so it was just like, oh, shell shock. But
Yeah.
so that has been interesting the last 2 seasons of competing, of just the new era of girls, and they're all like 18, 19, 20, 21. But it's also fun too. It's cool because now I get to be a veteran and um,
In
hopefully
parts.
be able to, yeah, impart some wisdom and just be
Yeah.
kind. And that's always my goal in the background, of course, like doing well at competitions and competing, but um, just being kind, because
Mm.
especially with women, we get real catty when it comes to competitions. Let me tell you, doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is. It can be a high school sport or middle school. I remember middle school
Yeah.
sports was the same way, but it's just hard for other people to be like excited and proud of other people wanting the same thing. I think that's the hard part. It's like we want the same goal, right? We all
Yeah.
want to get on the podium. We all want to do well, but it's also okay to like cheer other people on and help other people.
Mm.
Because wouldn't you want to compete against someone at their best and not their worst?
Oh
And
yeah.
if they have all the information. And so that's always my mindset when I compete is I want everyone to be competing at their best. And
Mm.
then I'd like to beat them, right?
Yeah.
Not because they didn't know the information or because they're injured or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I always go into competitions with that in my back pocket of how can I show up for other people and just be
Hmm.
kind. And it's cool with this new era of just being able to do that. Because I feel
Yeah.
like when I was a rookie, I didn't really get that experience, unfortunately. There were still some really nice girls, but there was also some girls that were not so kind.
Yeah.
And so I got both of the experiences. Um,
There was no one really to like put their arm around you and kind of,
right,
yeah,
right.
mentor. Yeah.
So I will say shout out to Margot Alvarez. She was amazing. Big OG, China Cho. Those were some awesome girls that did that. Um,
I remember Margot
but
won the row, wasn't it? The
yes,
long row. Yeah. That
ugh,
PTSD
that
from that.
was yeah. Well, I was a psychopath, and I actually did that row again for New Year's that same year
Oh,
because it was silly like that. Well, I wanted to beat my time because I felt like at the competition I didn't have like a good game plan. And
okay.
so I was like, I want to have a different game plan and just see if I can do better. But
Yeah.
I ended up getting the same exact time. So I was like, but I did feel better because I had a different game plan.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I got off like every 1600 meters for 20 seconds just to give
Okay.
like my sit bones a rest.
Yeah.
And at the games, I stayed on until halfway. So like
Okay.
20,000 meters in. And
Oh,
by that time,
yeah. What was it? What was the distance again?
it's
The
49,195 meters, I think.
yeah. No thanks.
You can trust but verify that, but I feel like
Yeah.
that number just sticks
Definitely
out to
some.
me.
Yeah. It's definitely a ridiculous number anyway.
Yeah, something stupid. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, so I didn't get off until my coach had told me, he's like, you need to get off like earlier. And I was like, nah, I'll be fine. And no one else was getting off. And so I was like, shoot, I'm just gonna stay on here then. And then when I got to the halfway mark and I stood up, I was like, that was not a good idea. That was so bad. So the second half of the row was just
Yeah. What was it like?
terrible.
What was it like in the arena? Like doing that? Was it kind of, or maybe it was just maybe you didn't take anything that was going on around you in because you're so kind of in the zone probably. But um,
No,
yeah,
there was definitely time to think.
yeah. Was there? Because I kind of heard from like watching documentaries and stuff, and I think I
Yeah.
had Vellner saying like it was just like for want of a better term, just boring from a spectator standpoint, and
Yeah, I just felt bad for all the spectators because it's like,
it for the
dude,
full, yeah,
because the time cap was 4 hours. So it's
yeah.
like, I just remember watching my family just like come in and out of the arena, like grabbing beers and stuff. And I was like, y'all suck. Or I
I
had
hope
one of my friends that was like right in front of me that was like, go, Bethany, go. And I just looked at him and I was like, stop right now.
Stop doing what you're
Stop.
doing.
Yeah. I don't need you to do that right now for 3 hours. But yeah, it was
Uh,
kind of weird because it was like, I'm pretty sure the only people that were in the arena the entire time were just like family
yeah.
supporting their athletes, and everybody else was just like, dude, I'm not coming to this. So it was just kind of like weird looking into the stands. You're just like, there's people there, and then there's a patch of nothingness, and then there's some people there. But yeah, it
That,
was,
that was the first event, wasn't it, of that year? I think it
yeah,
was. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Uh, I
what was.
think we actually did, I want to say that we did 2 events before that. And then that was the last one of the first day. And then we got a day off. They didn't
Uh,
really give us the day off. And then we competed Friday, Saturday, Sunday after that. Yeah, because I think that was on Wednesday. It's
okay.
all a blur. It's all a blur.
Yeah. Yeah. So like
Um,
what, 20.
but that was the last one of the day. And we were just like, how are we going to do the
And
rest of the weekend?
yeah.
How? It was so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people like in gyms and stuff do it for like charities now, but like other than that,
Right.
there's no logical reason to do something.
Don't need to do that.
I'd almost
No.
just give the money to the charity, to be honest. I just be like, yeah,
Yeah, like you have my money. I don't need to do that route because that's crazy. Yeah, that's. I mean, but it's like those things too that you look back and those are like the core memories, right? Like, shoot,
yeah,
I freaking did a marathon row. Not
yeah.
a lot of people can say that, and probably not gonna
That's
do that again. But that was crazy and terrible
I
all at the same time.
felt so sorry for Alessandra Pacelli because
Kelly, yeah,
She
just
was she was the
cramped.
last, yeah, she was the last one. I think she was the last one. And
Yeah,
she still finished. Like
yeah,
that was so cool. Like that was just I don't know.
it's so brutal.
If there's ever a time to like, I don't know, put kids in front of the TV and show them someone to look up to, like that's just
Yeah.
that's a moment right there. And
Oof.
that's kind of like a forgotten about moment to me. But like I think that
Right,
was
they didn't really highlight it. I feel like she's one of those she's one of those girls that falls in the category of myself where I feel like with CrossFit, unfortunately, and I feel like they do this with every sport, there's the highlighted, the golden girls, the golden children,
yeah.
and then there's everybody else.
Mm.
And yeah, if you fall into the everybody else category, then a lot of your stuff that is really freaking cool doesn't really get highlighted
Mm.
unless like people like yourself decide to take it on, you know. But that's just once again, that's the name of the game in the sport. So
Because like they made a big deal out of the capital one. Was it Rebecca Fuselier? I butcher her last.
Fuselier, yeah,
And like obviously that was up there as well, you know what I mean? But like yeah, I just couldn't understand why they didn't do the same with Alessandra's one. It's just, I think but
right,
that was kind of around the time the whole media thing, like they were just like told everyone to where to go and they
yeah,
but there probably was no footage. So,
right, yeah. They're like, oh yeah, we don't actually don't have that.
um but yeah, and do you feel like do you have a good support system around you now? Because I imagine like the way you were kind of talking about kind of like stuff that you've experienced over the years of competing and meeting people who are nice and not so nice. Do you feel like what you've experienced has kind of shown you like who your real people are?
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like that's the beauty and the most important thing about going through dips in your career is you get to see who your advocates really are, and it kind of just sheds the fat a little bit.
Yeah.
And it helps you lean on people too. Because I think for me at the beginning of my career, I was such a people pleaser that I would actually push people away when I would compete or train or any of that because I didn't want to let anybody down. And as my career progressed and I went through some very low lows, I realized, no, I actually do need people and I need advocates. And that's something that I've really built over the past, I would say, 4 to 5 years. And I feel like, man, without those people and without a village and your core group of people that you can really count on, it's really hard to do this for a long time. And so that's what I'm going to be leaning on big time when it comes to trying to come back in 2027 is the community of people that I've built and my core group that has been through it all, the ups and the downs. But I feel like if you don't have that, it's just really hard. You're not going to go far. You can go
Yeah.
fast, but you can't go far.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to kind of just because you said it as well about when you were kind of at like regionals and stuff back in the day, and like there were certain individuals who might not be so welcoming or so nice to you. Like, did they kind of go out of their way to not be pleasant, or was it just kind of like, I just don't want anything to do with you kind of thing? Or
Yeah, it's more of that. I'm a very like friendly person when it comes. I'm just like, hi, how's it going? How are you? My name's Bethany. And I didn't know who was who when it came to CrossFit. Like I never followed it before I started competing in it. And so I don't know. I just like talk to everybody because that's just how my parents, helped me grow up. They just told me you respect everyone, you say hi to everyone. So I was just like, that's what I do. And it was just like you have to kind of prove yourself worthy enough. But it was my own fault because I was the one going up to them and trying to like be like, I want to be friends. They're like, no, we have our friends. We don't need you. But yeah, so it was more of that. And no one went out of their way, or there's like no animosity in that sense. But
okay,
also, too, like everyone competes differently. So you're going to get competitors where they're very hyper focused on what they're doing. There's one task, and that's competing and getting on the floor and doing well.
yeah,
And I also respect that. That's just not the way that I compete. I like to compete with, doesn't mean I'm not focused. There's definitely moments where I'm like, okay, it's time to actually dial
yeah.
this in. But a lot of the time, it's still about the people and the culture and all that. And not everyone works that way. And there's money on the line. So I totally get it. When there's money on the line, this is like your career.
Oh,
Uh, People take it very serious. But I think for me, I can't take it like super serious like that because then it stresses me out and I actually don't perform well because I'm not free. So
yeah.
everyone's different with how they compete and how they choose to do things.
Who was the most dialed in person that you ever saw?
No, I can't say.
You can't. Ah,
Can't go down that route. Those are
we
secrets
could
that stay
probably, yeah, we
deep
could
in
throw
those
some,
pockets for me.
we could
You
throw
can't
some.
burn anybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
will say a lot of people that were like that though, I think after their careers were done, were
mm,
completely different. So I think it's just the way that they competed, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah. I mean, like that's totally fair enough. Like, from from a fan's perspective, anyway. Like the people who would probably jump off the table in that respect would be your Matts, your Tias, your Justins, and all those kind of people. Because just from obviously, look, fans can only know a certain amount. Like myself, like we see what we see from YouTube and
Right.
Instagram and whatever.
Yeah.
And so like to look at people like that, like obviously Matt had this killer look in his eyes every time he went out.
Mhm.
Tia was the same. Justin was kind of like, I don't know, he had it at the end after, like
Yeah.
when he carried that yoke across and he won, I think it was his first one, and like just went from like just no expression to let's go.
I freaking go. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny. A lot of people with Tia, they have like problems with, but Tia's always been super kind to me and amazing and super friendly. And I've never had any problems with her. Like she's just always been so great to me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone's so different with that. And even with Matt too, like I've never had any bad experiences with him either. We don't get to mesh a lot with the guys. Like they keep us pretty separate. We're just like we're warming up and they're competing, or we're competing and they're warming up. So we're just like never really crossing paths. So I can't really say much about the guys too much. But yeah, with Tia specifically, I've actually since day one in 2017, 2018, I've always
Mm.
had really good experiences with her. So she's
That's
been
good.
good. She's been good
Yeah.
with me.
Oh, that's great. Did you have anyone in particular that like you kind of like looked up to in the space, or like anything like that? Like any role models, or was there anyone?
I think for me, like I've never really because I didn't follow it before, I wasn't like uh like, oh man, I really just want to embody her or whatever. But I think kind of just looking back, like the Margot Alvarez's and the China Cho's, like those OG athletes that were just so kind to all the rookies and everyone that were there like the first years. That's definitely something that I wanted to carry through into the next generation of athletes. So those are the things that I kind of looked at. Yes, skills on the floor and competing and be number one and like getting first place on a workout is amazing, but people only remember that for the year. People are always going to remember how you treat them. And so that's more or less what I'm looking at when I look at people, compared to like, man, I wish I had that skill, or I wish I could lift that much or whatever. Um, so yeah, there wasn't like one specific girl though that I was like, man, I wish I was that specific athlete. I want to be
Yeah.
her, you know?
Was there anyone kind of like in sport in general that you kind of idolized or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I was a gymnast growing up.
Mm.
And so for school projects, I would always pick like an Olympic gymnast to do like a school project on. Um, but there wasn't really any athletes either that I wanted to embody or be specifically, which I'm kind of grateful for. I think that's just the way I grew up. Like my mom was like, always be an individual yourself. And so I always went down a different pathway, never followed anybody's pathway, and just kind of made my own road.
That's awesome. So do you have to be kind of like super, uh, what's the word? Super sporty now that like, 'cause I was going to ask actually, before I ask that question, is your husband still working with the Lakers?
He is,
Yeah.
yes. And
Yeah.
that's why we're currently in California.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I was like, do you have
yeah,
to
we've been here.
be super into it now, or do you have, or
Well, yeah, actually, like I never followed basketball before. But it's a way for me and him to connect. He
yeah,
doesn't really necessarily like basketball either. He actually played football growing up. And just kind of fell into the position of a strength and conditioning coach for basketball. And I think once you get in the door, you just stay. So that's
yeah.
kind of like him the past decade. He's just always been in basketball.
Hmm.
But yeah, especially when he started working for the Lakers, I was like, I should probably figure out like the lingo and what they're doing. And he always talks about the players and the players that he works with. So I
Yeah,
like having a name to the face, like, oh yeah, like that player number 15, like he did really well and did this good on the yeah, during the game or whatever. So it's definitely gotten me a little bit
hmm.
more interested, that's for sure. So I
It's
watch, I would say 85% of the games for the Lakers.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I probably would. Because I actually really like basketball, and I would probably watch the NBA a lot more if the time zones weren't so different.
crazy.
Yeah, like I think a game for here it starts at like 2 in the morning, so it's like not a chance, not a
No,
chance.
no.
No. But yeah, no, I agree though. It's cool to have those moments where like obviously you said you weren't like massively into it before, but through your husband, like you can, it's nice to learn about your partner's interests and what they do.
Yeah,
And
career and
yeah,
yeah.
sure, exactly, yeah. Because when I met my partner Amy, she does like she's a nail technician, and she does like hairdressing on the side as well. And now obviously as a man, naturally that probably wouldn't be biggest
Of
interest,
interest.
but
Yeah.
like I'd still ask questions, and like I probably know more about nails now than I ever thought I would.
Yeah, there you go. It's
um
that stuff's important. It's important to learn your partner's career and what their interests are and stuff. And um, yeah, because that's going to be a lot of your communication and
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and like vice versa. Like she's obviously she knows I'm massively into CrossFit and the gym, and just kind of sport in general, and like she's showed a massive interest in that like over the last couple of years that we've been together. And like
Oh,
that's
that's awesome.
for me, like that's just really cool, like because I never really um outside of the gym there wouldn't be like people to share some like stuff like that with, so it was nice to that she kind of she did that. Um, which yeah, so that's really important. So like if we're ever in the California area and you need your nails done, just
Hey,
let me know. I can hook you up.
yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. But yeah,
Uh,
I will say I'm fair weather when it comes to sports because it's whatever team my husband plays for. But right
oh,
now we rooting on the Lakers, which is a good team to root
yeah,
for. But if he's with someone else, it's like, all right, moving along. What's the next team that we're rooting for?
got endless options in LA though for sport, right? It's like
There's a
Kings.
lot. There's like double of everything
Yeah,
basically. Like there's two NBA teams, two NFL teams,
mm,
two
oh,
MLS, I think,
yeah, Galaxy.
hockey. So yeah, there's definitely options for sure with this
Soccer
one, but
pretty
hopefully
big.
he gets to stay here.
Yeah, yeah. I'd imagine it's probably one of those things where it's like you don't know if you're gonna be like where you're gonna be. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's very much like my contracts. Like a lot of my contracts for CrossFit are 1 to 2 years,
Oh,
and his are the same. It's like 1 to 2 years. So we're always like, well, we'll see what happens.
yeah.
But so far, this is his sixth season, so he's doing well, doing well. So hopefully we can continue on.
Good.
But also,
'Cause I know
we're
like
okay with moving on.
yeah. Sorry, no, I keep cutting across you. Sorry. That's my that's my fault.
You're good.
But yeah, because I know in like say football culture, soccer culture here, if a team's not doing well, the head coach and all his staff that he has are usually like gone,
Gone.
bye bye. And it's kind of ruthless over here. Like there's a lot of expectations. Like if you don't get to this certain level
Perform.
within this X amount of time, which I'm sure is like that for every sport. Would it be now? You said obviously he's with the Lakers 6 years, so it probably wouldn't be as maybe ruthless as that, or am I wrong?
It can be. It definitely can be. I would definitely say, like in the NBA, recently in the past like 3 or 4 years, it's definitely gotten even more cutthroat than it was because there's head coaches that win the national championship and then are fired the next year, and you're like, no
Yeah,
one's safe. No one is safe. And it's not like collegiate in the sense of like when he was working for college, if the head coach was fired, then everybody else was basically cleaned out, like everyone was gone. So if the head SNC or the head coach here gets fired, then not everyone else is gone. But if the GM gets fired, that's when usually they clean house completely. So we haven't had a switch in the GM, which has been good, which is why I think Randy's been pretty safe.
yeah,
But we've had the head coach switched. I think this is his fourth in
oh,
6 years, three or
okay,
four, three or four. So, but it's still scary because the contracts are only 1 or 2 years. You're still like, I don't know. I could be the scapegoat. They have to get rid of
yeah,
somebody, but he hasn't been so far. But also, if you're paying your dues, and I think you're just doing the right thing and going over and beyond your job description, which is what he does. He's really good at just like this needs to be done, and it's not my job. I'm going to do it. I think
yeah,
that's how you keep a job nowadays because it's really
yeah,
that simple. A lot of people won't do that stuff because they're like, I'm too good for that. I'm like,
yeah.
everybody got to participate. Everybody got to take the trash out every once in a while. So,
And, I mean, they like it's a team, I suppose, at the end of the day as well. So,
yeah,
that means everybody. You know, um, is that how you would describe Randy? Like he's like a driven, hardworking guy.
very. I think that's the thing that drew me to him is his character and consistency. He's a very consistent person. He's been the same since day one. We've been almost together for 7 years. It'll be 7 years in the fall. And just the consistency of his character has stayed exactly the same in the
Yeah,
best way possible. And yeah, he's definitely goes over and beyond what he needs to do because jobs have to get done, right? Everything has to get done, and he's always gonna take one for the team. And yeah, I just really feel like a lot of people don't do that nowadays. It's crazy. It's such a simple thing and something that I feel like people used to take pride in many a years ago,
hmm
but it's just the culture that we live in now. So I'm so grateful that he still has that. He embodies that when it comes to not only in the household, but also in his career too, of always going over and beyond.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, how did you meet?
We actually met at a strength and conditioning conference all the way in like South Carolina,
Oh,
um, but
okay.
grew up in the same city, just never met.
Wow.
We live like 30, 45 minutes away from each other pretty much our entire lives,
Yeah,
never cross paths. And then we meet in a different state, somewhere completely different. Yeah, at a strength and conditioning conference. And that
that's
was
cool.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what was the question? Oh yeah. So me personally, I've been engaged to Amy, my partner, for the last 2 years. And we have always people going, when are you gonna actually get married? I was like, slow down.
Calm down.
Yeah, things are expensive nowadays. That's kind of like that's the
Yeah.
main thing. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what it's like to kind of get married in America, but like here it's
Very.
very expensive. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, for a venue alone, it's like 30K or something, like, you know what I mean? It's just
Yep.
ridiculous money. And like we don't even have anything close to that. So and like, we're like it's not as if it really changes
Hey,
anything.
I will say this though. You can just go to the town hall and get
That,
married,
that's
check the
all.
box, and then do a big party later on.
You're
Then
right.
you shut everybody up.
All right there.
Because that's like $100 to probably do. Just go in, go to town hall. That's what
Yeah.
we ended up doing that. We got married a couple months before our actual ceremony. And
Okay.
so it's like we have a different, I feel
Yeah.
like most people do, but it was just like an intimate thing between me and him. And you have to have like, obviously one witness. And yeah, I was like, man, we should have just done that and just call it a day and not done the ceremony because it is so expensive. That the whole thing was so expensive. But anyways, so you can get married for very
Yeah.
cheap.
That's you're very correct on that. But my question was going to be, and it could be a tough one. What's
Uh-oh.
what's the key to a happy marriage, Bethany?
I think for me, we did this since the beginning of just having our relationship is we do a lot of questions and question books and question cards because it just gets you into these communications and conversations that you wouldn't have otherwise. Because if you're just
Mhm.
like coming home for the day or just talking on the phone, it's more, I mean, you can get into a deep conversation, but it's more surface level, right? And it's kind of like the same thing, like, how was your day? What'd you do? Blah, blah, blah. And just kind of griping about the people or whatever it is. But you open up a question book or cards, you start asking these questions that you would have never thought of. And I
Yeah.
think that's just like super, super important for your relationship is to get into deep conversations over and over and over again. And so we don't make it like okay, every Tuesday at 6 p.m., we're doing questions. It's whenever we have time. And obviously, lately, it's been a little bit hectic with the newborn and being pregnant. And he travels with the Lakers. So he's gone during the season. But we always come back to that the past 7 years is making sure that we set aside time to, hey, can we do question books or can we do a question, in a couple weeks and, set a date. So we have something on the calendar, but it's not something that's a super consistent, like every
Mhm.
month we're doing this. Cause I
Yeah.
just feel like when you do that, then it just becomes not
Boring.
as organic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's been like the biggest thing that's helped our relationship. And I always try to gift to other
Mhm.
marriages and relationships is do questions, do question books. Like it just gets you out of the norm.
Yeah. Was that something you came up with on your own, or did you discover it somewhere, or?
I'm sure like on an unconscious level, I saw it somewhere, but that was just like a really important thing that I never did in any of my other relationships is going in depth. So I just had a huge intention with that going into this relationship 7 years ago. I was just like, this is something that I want to do. And I told him that from the beginning. He was like, okay, let's do it. And yeah, so we do that. We do like devotionals. We try to like pray together as much as we can. And I don't know, it's just like a different way to connect than the normal. How's the weather? How's your day going? How's your job?
Yeah, yeah, you can kind of get sucked into that trap, I guess, can't you? Of
It,
like,
or just like putting on the TV, right? Like that's so easy to do. Just click the button and let's watch a show. And
yeah,
that's totally fine. You don't have to do questions every single night. Um, but yeah, just making sure that you are taking time to do something that's not on autopilot.
absolutely, yeah. Was Randy your coach at one point? My,
He still is.
oh, sorry,
We
okay.
at the beginning, we I didn't want that just because I wanted to keep things separate because it can get messy, right? But as we've built our relationship over time, there's just been so much trust that's been built, and he knows me and he knows my body. And I'm definitely biased, but he is a really, really good strength and conditioning coach, or he wouldn't be at the Lakers for 6 years, right?
Then,
So I just trust his knowledge and his wisdom and how he goes about doing things, that it's just kind of organically over the past couple of seasons he's just become more and more a part of the programming and the coaching aspect.
mm,
Is Does he want to be my actual coach? No, he's like, I don't want those problems, I don't know enough about CrossFit, I don't like that. But
yeah,
is he a part of how to put the program together, and he's there in the warm up area when we are at the CrossFit Games? Yes, like I have to have him there. He's very stoic and he's very calm, and I need that. So yeah, he's definitely a part of all of it.
so are you under a contract with any like program at the moment, or is it just you and Randy he programs for you, or?
So I have been with Training Think Tank the last couple of years with Perrin.
Ooh,
Obviously, we're taking a break right now in the last 2 seasons, but I'm sure I'll probably go under that umbrella again when I
mm.
come back. And I was kind of using Perrin as she is an awesome coach. Perrin, I don't know if you know much about her.
I I only know her because of I follow your
Uh,
story.
yeah. Perrin's awesome. So she's a small, cute little Asian gal.
Yeah.
She's super smart and super fit. Her weapon is handstand push-ups. She can do like a billion in a row.
Oh, okay. She's
But yeah, I'm like, what the heck? Why are you so good at this? But she was like such a great emotional support throughout the last 2 seasons of just trying to navigate everything with my back and the mental side, and helping me figure out things I can still do. Because I think that was part of my issue, is like, man, I'm in pain, I'm just going to give up, I can't do anything. And she's like, no, there's so much more that you can still do. And so she was so helpful with that, of like, we're going to do a C2 bike progression, we're going to do this, let's do these breathing exercises when your back does go out on you completely, we're going to do alternating nasal breathing. Like, I don't know, she was just so good at like still finding things to do when I was in an immense amount of pain.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. That's
And then she also like went out of her way to, like, every week for a while. I think the first season we were together, we would have like a 2 to 3 hour phone call like every week. Like she was amazing. She's such a great coach.
yeah. I think it's things like that, and like when you say them, they kind of sound funky, but like when people like parent that put in the effort to kind of do stuff like that, like it makes a difference. It means a lot, you know.
Yes.
Like I was
Going the extra mile.
yeah, I was reading this book. I'm still reading it at the moment. I think it was How to Make Friends and Influence People. I think it's
Hmm.
called. Oh, it's supposedly a very famous book anyway. But
Hmm.
it's basically just one of the things it was talking about was just like even something simple as just remembering someone's name. Like
Hmm.
and saying it back to them. Then it's like you've shown that it's just
You're listening, you
that
care.
listening and that person's important to you, and so fine details like that now really kind of make a difference, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, such a server.
yeah. um Bethany, I'm conscious of your time. I don't want to take up your entire day. I have a couple of now I have them written down as like quick fire questions, but usually I end up like going off on a tangent of some of them. So yeah, they are specific to you. So I'll jump straight in if you're prepared and ready. And
Do it.
I don't have a 3, 2, 1 go but it's
We'll do it anyways.
um yeah, so first one is, how many tattoos do you have?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I have a full sleeve, that's for sure. I don't know how many tattoos there are on my sleeve. I got one on my back, one on my side, one on my foot. So
And your favorite
10
one?
plus.
10 plus.
10 plus, yeah. I have one of Bella, my bulldog. They actually did a
Oh,
really good job for the space that it's in.
that's cool.
I'm
I like
like, that was an amazing job for being on
it.
your elbow.
How old
So
is
that'll
Bella now?
probably be. She's 11,
Wow.
so
Oh, because I remember obviously when I first started following you, like, obviously a lot younger, and I was just say it was so cool because
little
you had
baby.
the Obey Bella t-shirts and everything. Like
Oh
that
yes,
was so
those are
cool.
my favorite. All the good T-shirts. I got to bring those back. That's the saddest part about not competing at the games is I don't get to do a T-shirt.
Yeah, I have one of those. I know I can't remember. It's somewhere. I wouldn't have
Should
let
have wore
let anyone throw that away. Um,
it.
it was but yeah, I think it was at the time you were living in Austin, I think. Were you living in?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
in Austin.
Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, so that again, going back to the good old days.
Yeah, those were the good old days. They were fun. But yeah, Bella's gotta stay alive for a couple more years because I'm gonna compete a couple more times. So I gotta put her on the t-shirt. But we gotta add the other ones too. I have
Yeah,
a we have a rescue bulldog right now that we got last year. He's a
oh,
mess. His name is Barry. It's a
Barry.
hot mess. We got Winston. He's a Scottish fold. He's amazing. And then I gotta add the child on there too. Gotta add Baker on there. Why not?
Three fur babies and a regular baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all animals at this
yeah.
point.
Even though I hate the word fur baby, but I'm
But they
just
are.
like I, yeah, cursing myself that I said that word. I'm like, oh
Fur
God.
baby. It's the nails and the hair, you know. Falls in the same category.
Best athlete you've ever trained with?
Ooh. Probably Carrie Pierce. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were
yeah,
like this. We were very in sync the entire time we were competing and working out together. So that was the
yeah.
best experience I've ever had.
And people forget, like, it was like, I know like yourself, Carrie, Danielle, but there was like a lot of other girls as well, wasn't there? Like that are kind of like coming up now. Was
Alex.
Allison Scuds at the
Oh
time?
yeah, Allison Scuzz was there. Yeah, everyone came. Like the original group was five of us. So it
Mm.
was me, Danielle, and Carrie, and then two guys that were with us, Matt DeLugos and oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah. Was it Ricky? Ricky Grove?
No.
No.
Um oh my gosh, I
Ola?
can't think of his name. No, he's Brazilian. I think he's Brazilian.
Not Guy.
He's South American athlete.
Okay.
Nicholas. His name was Nicholas. I don't know his last name. But anyways,
Uh,
those were the OG. So it's just us five. And
yeah.
then I think like 6 or 7 months in is when we got Raf and Ali. And then Alex Gazan was just kind of like playing around at the time.
Mm. Yeah.
She was just kind of getting introduced to like training with us and stuff. And
Mhm.
obviously was killing it. And then after like the first year, it was like we went from 5 or 6 athletes to like 20. It was like, the
Wow.
heck? Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Blew up fast.
And that was the year, was it West Coast Classic was
Mm-hmm.
the first time they
It
did
just
that.
happened to be in Vegas. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
that looked like a really cool event.
Yeah.
Um,
I wish we had more people there. There wasn't a lot of people in the stands,
yeah,
but it was really cool to just have like home court advantage. I got to sleep in my own bed. It was 20 minutes away. I was 20 minutes away from the venue. It was such a great competition. Great time. Well, it's always great when you're competing well. So that's
oh
awesome to
yeah,
happen.
uh,
You always have fun.
yeah. Did you win West Coast
Yeah,
Classic?
that's the one I
Yeah,
won semifinals. Yeah.
yeah.
And
Because I
then
remember.
that year I got COVID right before the game, so I couldn't compete.
Yes, yeah,
I was very deathly sick. I couldn't even compete. I if I wanted to at that time. I was in bed, like I was so sick. But went out to Wisconsin and then contracted COVID like basically 2 days before the competition started, and then we got tested, and I was positive, and then Carrie ended up getting positive too. So that was a disaster. So I was out for 2 seasons because of that, or technically.
Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of that because like I think there was a few athletes that had that experience that year, and
Mm.
um that was probably another like really mentally tough one, I'd say, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one sucked because I felt like the fittest I'd ever felt.
Hmm.
Felt
Yeah.
really good. Felt really fit, really healthy, and felt like it was my year. Like I was just like, I'm gonna do well at the games this year. This will be a really good year for me. And yeah, I didn't get to express my fitness. I think that was
Mm,
the hardest part. And that's
yeah.
what my intention has always been, and my goal is just I feel like I have all this fitness that I haven't been able to express on the competition floor due to injuries and just not being able to train the way that I want to. But
Hmm.
the moment I get consistent training is when I can, really express who I am as an athlete. So
Yeah.
I just want to give myself, that's why I want to come back, is I just really want to give myself that chance to fully express myself on the floor.
Yeah. So is 2027 is the goal? Is that what you're aiming for now?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. Gives me a whole year to kind of recover and
Yeah.
reset and figure out this new normal with the baby and figure
Yeah.
out a new routine, which I know constantly changes. But yeah, try to figure out something and get going, get rolling again.
Yeah. I miss watching you on the floor, I have to say, like from a fan's perspective, because like at the end of the day, that's what I am really, as a fan of the sport. And uh,
Mm,
you were one of the first people that I started kind of following at the very beginning. And um like I always like, I remember like I'd maybe see something that you'd put up and I'd copy it or something. I'd do like
yeah.
your mobility stuff, and because I
Ah,
know
yeah.
you're big on your
Yep.
mobility. Uh,
Hmm.
have you always kind of been that way with mobility, or do you find because of the back stuff that you kind of did it a lot more, or were you
Yeah, I
like,
think a lot of it has blossomed from my back stuff
"Mm,
because I've had my back issue since I was 12 from gymnastics.
okay,
And then kind of getting into personal training, that was kind of like my niche in personal training was the activation, the warm up, and really just like taking your time. And um, I really gathered a lot of clients through that because they're like, oh, I don't do enough of this. And so I
yeah,
think I just brought that into, well, I brought that into coaching because I was a coach and when I lived in Texas.
yeah,
Uh, and so I coached a CrossFit and kind of managed a gym, and a lot of the members hated and loved it at the same time because they're like, I need to do this, but also it sucks. And
yeah,
then my classes always went long because of that. And then I just kind of brought it into my own career as well. And at the time, it was kind of a niche. Like, I think a lot of people do it now.
yeah,
But I think back in 2017, 2018, I was the girl with the Crocs and the tattoo arm sleeve that did a bunch of mobility and activation and core stuff. And then so it was like, who are you? What are you doing? This is weird. I want to follow you.
mm,
And now it's not so niche, right? Like everyone's got an arm sleeve tattoo and wears Crocs and does their own mobility and core.
yeah.
But I think at the time it was just different.
Yeah, I've got the two sleeves, so I'm like
Ah,
I'm a super Bethany fan.
there
Uh,
you go.
yeah, I even remember the and I presume you probably still wear the Crocs. I have to imagine, but like
Of course I do.
there we
Got them
go.
on now. They're my favorite. I'm still waiting for my sponsorship. It's been
I
seven
know.
years.
Yeah, I would have thought that. Did you have a Did I see you one year with a pair of Metcons that were designed as a Croc? Did it look, yeah, or was it
Yeah,
Nanos?
it was Nanos. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I love Reebok, but I was like, I gotta make these into. If Crocs isn't gonna sponsor me, I'm gonna make my own. So yeah, I
wait,
painted some.
did you design that yourself, or did the Reebok do it for you, or?
No, I had just some random person who was good at painting do it. Yeah,
That, oh, that was so cool. I was like,
I
where
still have them. They're
I would have
amazing.
loved to. I would have loved to have had a pair of those.
Yeah, those were so cool. I know.
Great
Those
away.
are like the best pair ever. That was back in like 2018. Oh man. Huh.
You've
Good
actually,
times.
I know you were saying like it was tough with like sometimes with sponsorships, but I think like from again from what I saw on your Instagram, like you've had like a lot of the same sponsors for a good few years, haven't you? Like I know like Bear Complex has been with you for
Hmm.
a long time. I remember you did that.
Since the beginning.
Yeah, you did that commercial with or maybe it wasn't a commercial, maybe it was just like a little trailer with Rasmus.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh, yeah.
yeah, and you
Garrett
did,
Fisher and all those
yeah,
guys. Yeah.
and Toe Spacer was
Yeah.
another.
Yeah. So I've had, I think my longest one is Bear Complex. I've had them since 2017. I'm really
Mhm.
grateful for them. And then Spacer Mobility, I've been with them since 2019, I think. So yeah, I've had some OGs that have just like stuck with me through thick and thin, and I'm just like, thank you guys. I know it's been rough, but thank you for always
Yeah,
believing in me. So I am grateful for those partnerships I've had for a very long time.
I got a pair of the Toe Spacers years ago, and they actually were very good. I have to say, I really enjoy.
I
I
love them. I would have stock in those things if I could. Like I like them a lot.
I would have probably I was just very lazy and like to take them out of the box every time. But I probably would have used them more. But no, when I did use them, absolutely like top dog.
Yeah,
That was yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Your feet do feel better and your toes do feel better when you use them. It's just you have to be consistent with it and
Yeah,
diligent with using them.
yeah. You don't think about it though, like with the shoes, like you know what I mean. Your feet do compress and or
Yeah.
your toes. You know what I mean. So it's like they have a point, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why I wear Crocs though, because they're so wide toed. You know what I
there you
mean? It
go. So
helps. Yeah. So you can
anyone
put your toe spacers in the Crocs.
oh, okay. Thinking
Yeah.
outside the Crocs.
Bad
But
dad joke.
yeah, bad, very bad dad joke. I'm getting better at the bad dad jokes. Uh,
Okay.
um, did you have a favorite CrossFit season? Like I know, as in like structure. So I know, like obviously we've had
Yeah.
like regionals, sanctionals, the current format as it is now, which is kind of like is very confusing to me at times. Um,
Very.
like for me personally, it was 2019 sanctionals. I really enjoyed that.
Mm.
I thought it was a great way for you guys as athletes. You could go off and
To
make
explore. Yeah.
money at one competition and qualify at the next one, or vice versa, whatever way it worked. But like it was very easy to follow, um,
Yeah.
for me anyway, from a fan's point of view. So, did you have a favorite
Okay.
one, or
That's good because I was very confused in 2019. I didn't know that I made it until like basically the end, and I was like, "Oh, I qualified. Okay, great." Because I did Dubai, I think, or I don't know, something Argentina. But that one was cool because I think we went to places that we wouldn't have otherwise as athletes. So that was a really cool season. But honestly, I think 2017, back to
27?
the good old days where it was just very easy to follow. In the open, you were in the South Central region or the West or the East, and then you came and you competed with those people, and then you made it to the games. Like it was just a very seamless experience. So I miss, yeah, that season. It's literally changed every year since I've competed, which is crazy.
It really has, and you don't mind
Yeah.
like a little bit of change because, like that's with every sport that'll happen. But like, yeah, I think it's just been I don't know. And I don't even really I don't know how you feel about like online semifinals versus in person.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
like in my head I was like, do I say it? But yeah, I'm glad you
I
said
don't
it
like
because
anything that's online. So I don't like quarterfinals. I don't like that we're doing that. I'm an in-person competition kind of person. So it's like I want to compete on the floor because that's where I thrive the most. And the online stuff is just it's not for me. It's not for me. I don't like it at all. So I hate that I understand it,
yeah,
but I don't like it.
yeah, like I can
Personal
appreciate
preference.
the open is cool for
Uh-oh.
like community
I
aspect.
probably have to pop off here in probably like 3 minutes, unfortunately.
Oh no,
Sorry.
that's like nearly one or two questions and they're very quick. Um, favorite CrossFit Games moment.
Actually 2019 at the games when we did chaos.
Okay. Oh,
That
that
was
was
my
the,
favorite.
yeah, yeah. I like that one.
A lot of people, it's controversy, either hated it or loved it, but I really enjoyed not knowing what we were doing
Yeah,
on the competition floor. Like it was so fun. It was my favorite.
that's awesome. And last one, I'll get you to hold on then after I stop the recording, just for 2 seconds. But
Yeah.
last question is, um, what's the best piece of advice someone's ever given you?
Maybe that someone hasn't given me, but that I've been trying to put into practice, especially the last couple of seasons, is really just listening to your gut and your intuition on things.
Hmm.
Um, Man, it's so important. And a lot of people just don't do that, but really trusting your inner voice when it's saying to do something or not to do something. Um, I think throughout like my whole life, and especially the beginning of my career, I just would not listen to that. And it got me into a lot of trouble, either outside of the gym or inside of the gym. But especially with like injuries in my back inside of the gym, I just would just suppress that. Like, I'm going to ignore you. You don't know
Yeah,
what you're talking about. And then I'd always get hurt and injured and be out for extended periods of time. But that's something that I've really put into practice the last 2 or 3 years is trying to listen to that gut and intuition saying, yeah, we're done here. It's time to stop or whatever it is. And I think that'll allow you to go a lot further with things when you're listening to your gut and building that relationship with yourself.
trust yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bethany, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. As I said, I've followed you for many years and I will continue to.
Yeah. Thank you.
Um, Best of luck with what's coming for you. I really am looking forward to seeing you back out on the floor again in the
Thank
next
you.
couple of months, to a year. Um, yeah, just thank you so much and best of
Yeah,
luck.
appreciate it. Thank you for this time. I don't get asked to do a lot of podcasts anymore, so I appreciate you reaching out, and it just gives me an opportunity to continue to talk and work on that skill in and of itself, but continue to share my story. So thank you.
I love that. Thank you, Bethany.